Welcome back to the Deep Dig of Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host right over here.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. This week, we are touching base on a whole bunch of stuff. The 49ers are going to be taking on the Los Angeles Rams in a game that means nothing to either team. Christian McCaffrey is going to be out. Ambry Thomas has hand surgery. So that's going on. The college football playoffs are already in the finals now. We know the two deciding teams. We're going to touch base on that. We're going to be just going around the league, talking a whole lot of football. But before we get into that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. The channel is growing at a rapid rate, and we definitely appreciate it. And be sure to drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, and we'll just dig right into this 49ers game. Wasn't really a good fight from the Washington Commanders. Sam Howell was already benched going in this game. Jacoby Brissett gets hurt. Sam Howell has to play. Got a couple picks off. Defense looked great. Offense looked great. I think the important part of this is we just got out kind of unscathed.
Not necessarily. Christian McCaffrey's hurt, banged up, not going to play next week.
Not a serious injury, though.
You kind of the team was already banged up to begin with. Now this is like a week again.
Another bye week, basically.
This Rams game. Honestly, I was hoping that it would be a game that was going to mean something. This would be a fun matchup between these two teams. The Rams are probably the hottest team in football right now. It's between the Rams and the Ravens as far as who's hotter than me. But yeah, it would be a fun matchup to see. I know Debo went on Kay Adams' show and was like, "Oh, I'm playing like this still means something. We still want to sweep our division," which is all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are going to be like, "Hey, what matters more, this game or this playoff run?" And I think we're going to see that.
I would love to see 3/4 of Sam Darnold here.
I would like to see it just to see what it looks like.
Yeah, and also good for him to raise his stock and kind of trying to fight a job next year. Any concern with the secondary here? I know Jair was kind of a little banged up. I think he's fine now. Ambry,
like all the safeties are hurt.
Yeah, all the safeties are a little banged up. Ambry played with a broken hand going into that game.
Yeah, what a tough dude. So kudos to him. Again, a lot of people owe Ambry Thomas a huge apology. He's awesome. Honestly, I think he's a building block moving forward. Him, Diamador, Charvarius Ward. I think that's a pretty sick combo.
Imagine when we get Ufunga back and we can do Ufunga and Jair Brown back there.
Yeah, man. And so I long-term feel good about the secondary. This game, I don't know. Like, again, who's going to be out there? Not really sure how the rotation is going to go. And then you have two receivers on the other end in Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, who are dogs, who just straight up dogs. Again, they're a tough matchup for anyone, let alone a secondary that's pretty beat up.
I think the only thing that concerns me about this Rams game is this is a hot Rams team, and now it's a game the 49ers don't care about. Well, they shouldn't really care about. You're just going to keep letting them get hot with a win here. And then that's a dangerous Rams team in playoffs who's going to have the confidence of, oh, we beat this team.
Yeah, but also you don't want to like pull out all your tricks and show them too much. You just want to keep it simple, plain, basic offense. You just want to feed them chicken and rice. Hey, let's get through the day. Let's move forward. This isn't going to change our playoff destiny, to be honest. Like, we already have the 1 seed locked up. We're going to have home games throughout this entire playoff. Like, let's just stay healthy. Let's just make sure that we, get out there. Come on, boys, break a sweat. Like, let's stay in rhythm, but also, hey, let's not get injured.
Yeah, we get 2 weeks off until the next game for the Niners. Yeah. So we get this basically a week that doesn't really matter. Hey, let's not get any season enders here. Then we get a bye week, and then we get whoever is coming off of that win. So it's gonna be interesting.
This is a good week for depth for like dudes on the D line who haven't really had a shot like this season. Hey, let's get after it. For the secondary, who's going to step up in place of Ambry Thomas? Is Jason Verrett going to step up? We know we've seen him a little bit during the Ravens game. Is he going to step up and play in this game? So just looking for things like that, people to really step up and use this time to showcase their abilities. I'm interested in Sam Darnold. I think we're all interested to see how a Sam Darnold led offense is going to run. I know he's not the guy just based off his pocket presence in that Ravens game, but
You thought about it for
again,
a second. You thought about it for a second.
no, I mean, it was like, oh, this is cool. And then it was like, this guy has no feel for the pocket. But I
It's
mean,
going to be
again,
a
maybe he's just
cool.
rusty.
I'd like to see an offense, Sam Darnold, Elijah Mitchell, and some of these backup receivers and see what they can do. I mean, maybe one of these receivers can get a little juice going into the postseason. We can trust him a little bit because right now it's just Ayuk and Debo and Kittle. Like,
Yeah.
can we
I
mix
mean,
in
with
some guys?
Juwan Jennings being out really did hurt this team, not only because like he is a big target on third down, but also because of his blocking ability. Like he's just a dog. He annoys the shit out of defensive backs. Like he just gets after it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of these teams that fell out of the number 1 seed race. You want to start with the Eagles or Cowboys?
Let's start with the Eagles.
Yeah, so Eagles, I kind of predicted this because I bet heavy on Kyler to have a good game, and it paid off. They ended up coming back and beating the Eagles. They exposed their secondary, and a couple of people thinking they exposed that offense a little bit more. They're not throwing the ball well.
They're not. I mean, it sucks that like as an Eagles fan, you're like, okay, we have two of the best wide receivers in the league in Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. We want to get them the ball. Dallas Goedert is a dog. Like we want to make sure to air it out. We paid our quarterback this offseason a shit ton of money, but he just hasn't looked right. And I know I tweeted this out, but Jalen Hurts is literally all the shit that they talked about Brock Purdy. That's what Jalen Hurts is right now at this season of NFL football. He's being carried by the rest of his team, and he's not elevating anyone. So it is what it is. He didn't look good again as a quarterback. I mean, chalk it up. I just don't know what you do with him at this point. Do you rest him because you're already out of the 1 seed and try to hope that he gets a little bit better as far as his health wise? Because he has looked off this entire season. If you're an Eagles fan, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts kind of building up a lot of naysayers over there. And all the naysayers who said that Brock is a system quarterback, just go watch that highlight reel touchdown where he kind of spins out of the pocket and throws it to Ayuk in this last game. He's doing dynamic stuff, and Jalen Hurts seems to be regressing now. I don't know. He has unlimited weapons right now, and what's dumb is they have great running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 through 3, their running backs are good, and they're not running the ball.
Yeah, they should be just force feeding the run, just because they're good at it. If you look at their O-line is built for the run. So why not just showcase that ability? Why not bully some teams, play the possession game, get down to the goal line, do a tush push, and that's it.
I mean, DeAndre Swift started this year, and everyone was kind of like, "Oh shit, DeAndre Swift, he's a guy." And
well, everyone was like, "Why the fuck did the Lions do this? Why did they give him up?" Like,
and
this is
the
bullshit.
Eagles decided, let's not keep feeding this guy. And I thought Kenneth Gainwell was going to have a season. I thought he was going to be a guy that kind of steps up, and that we just haven't seen it.
It just screams incoherent, like incohesive. Like it's a first year coordinator. He wants to do like, hey, we gave you a Ferrari, you got to drive it. And it's like, well, realistically, I'm not a fast car guy. I feel more comfortable in a Toyota Camry, like just running the ball. But you gave me this quarterback that's very highly paid. I have to utilize him.
When your game plan at the end of the game is throw it and hopefully it's a pass interference, then I mean, what are we doing here, guys? You gotta get some schemes going.
I mean, Sirianni's a fucking clown. Can we like all admit that now? Like, he adds nothing to this team. He like, what can he do? He can call some timeouts. He can get you hyped up, and then he could piss off opposing like coaches, but not a whole lot being added right now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He's just having some issues, and it is a high price tag. But what were you gonna do otherwise if you were the Eagles? Like Carson Wentz ended up being a bust. I mean, were you gonna try to find someone in free? Russell Wilson, you almost traded for at a certain point. maybe you go back to that Russell Wilson thing now because it looks like he's gonna be a little cheap. But would you be surprised if they make a move on Sirianni if this doesn't work out? They get a first round exit in the playoffs. They had the 1 seed locked up.
But I just don't know who you would pivot to. I mean, both of your guys left, and we see they're both high level coach. No wonder
Steichen.
the Eagles were so good last year. Steichen and Gannon are two top level coaches. Gannon just proved it. He went over there and proved it.
Yeah.
And Steichen is over here leading this team that no one thought on their backup quarterback. They're in the playoff hunt in week 18. Like, both of these teams are like, it's the best that, like, yeah, Arizona's tanking, but you can see Gannon is a high level coach. You can see Shane Steichen is a high level coach. And guess what? They both control their side of the ball. That's more than you can say about Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at an era now where you have to have a high level coordinator as your coach. There's not a lot of these guys who are just the motivator, just the team builder. Like Ron Rivera, he's going to be out of a job. Belichick probably going to be out of a job, and even though he can defense,
He
can
is the
defense.
defensive.
He's a defense coordinator, but he's more doing this like general manager, trying to oversee the whole team.
Well, see, that's where you get into the Belichick thing. He is the defensive coordinator. His defense has been awesome this year.
His son, the defense coordinator. You got draw mail there.
I mean, they help, I guess, but it's Belichick. That's Belichick's baby. Where you get into it is he should never be a GM ever again.
I want to talk about the Cowboys because the end of this game is wild. I
Dude.
think even not even going to that final like 2-point conversion thing, the Cowboys have the ball with about less than 2 minutes left.
It was less than 2 minutes. I turned off the game. I was like, all right, this is over.
They literally,
babe, you can watch whatever you want.
Run the ball 3 times. They just need to run the ball 3 times, get those timeouts burnt, and they, at worst, they give the ball back with like 30, 40 seconds left. They throw a fucking Hail Mary deep ball out of bounds to stop the clock, giving the fucking Lions 2 minutes to work with, basically. Like, Mike McCarthy, to me, is the all-time worst game management coach of all time. Like, he sucks in crunch time making decisions. We've seen it in the playoffs, and now we just saw it this game. They should have lost. They did lose. Now moving forward to this 2-point conversion play, pretty sure he walked over and checked in with the ref, right?
He walked over with another guy. There's multiple camera angles of it. There's the camera angle of Jared Goff telling Taylor Decker, hey, you need to go check in. The other offensive lineman also walked up, and then 70 walks up as well. So 3 offensive linemen walked up to him to confuse the defense, but I think it confused the referee, and the referee said that 70, who was a covered player, was the one who checked in, when in fact it was Taylor Decker, who was uncovered on the opposite side. So it is what it is. It wipes the play. It wipes a win away, and you got to feel like,
I mean, Dan
what the
Campbell,
fuck?
If you're now going for it on a 2-point conversion from like the 15, like, maybe let's just go to overtime. I guess you just didn't want to go to overtime that bad. You can't stop CeeDee Lamb, but your chances dramatically drop from that far out.
Yeah, I mean, what's going through your head where you're trying to, like, at that point, just take
I wouldn't even do that in Madden. I would just, in Madden, I'm kicking the extra point.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it. No. So
I've seen things pick up steam where they're like, oh, we need to replay the game from this point and go forward, or like we need to flip what happened and like give it to the team. This is the first time where I think that's not bullshit. Like, maybe we should change the win to the Lions. Do you think that's, or do you think just walk away? It happened.
Realistically, I think you should. We all, like, there's video evidence of him going and checking in. The play happened. You know what I mean? And so I think you could wipe the
that
rest
last
of
play. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Actually, just based off of our evidence as the NFL, but you can't do that, because then you're admitting the fault of the referee and you're shaking the confidence of it. And so Now you're getting people like the NFL is rigged. I don't think the NFL is rigged. I think this is literally one person's mistake that cost this NFL team possibly like a chance at the number 1 seed.
Yeah. I mean, let us know in the comments what you think about this Cowboys call. Are you giving the win to the Lions? Or you just walking away, moving on? We're gonna be talking about some college football in a second. I just want to say really quick, this is our first podcast of the new year. So happy New Year's. Let's go and clap it up for this channel. We got a good push at the end. A lot of subs. We're almost to 300. So I just got to crack that open really quick while we talk some college football, because New Year, I'm chilling on vacation right now, ready to watch the Warriors in about an hour. So what matchup do you want to talk about first? Washington,
let's
Texas.
do it in order. Let's do Michigan and Bama. What a barn burner, dude. Again, I know Florida State, like they did fuck them, but they also made the right call with these 4 teams. What awesome matchups.
Great games.
Yeah, so let's start off with Michigan Bama.
Man, I had high hopes for this game and it didn't disappoint. I believe JJ McCarthy was gonna have a good game. I think I looked at all the, stats, the betting the stuff, and had him really low on passing yards, really low on touchdowns and everything. And I was like, nah, this guy, he's a veteran. I think he's gonna settle in. He's gonna do some stuff. He didn't let me down. Blake Corum is a guy. I think Blake Corum is first round pick level player. He put the team on his back in overtime. And then on the Alabama side, at what point do you bench Jalen Milroe? I listen, I hate this term. I hate saying this, or like trying to put quarterbacks down where they're like, they're a running back playing quarterback. Oh, they should play receiver. They should play different. I've never said that. This guy is a running back at quarterback. I didn't believe Jalen Hurts was. I didn't believe like Lamar. Like, I've never believed that. I'm always like, you know what? Just keep at it. He's not that bad. This guy, they're not throwing the ball. Literally not throwing the ball. He threw like 2 passes in 1 quarter. Even more. Maybe in like the first half, he threw like 4 passes or something. But if you're not able to throw the ball in the college football playoff, what are we doing here? Like, the last play was a joke because there's no threat of the pass.
So this is his finishing stat line. So it was 23 attempts, 16 completions, 116 yards, and 6 sacks. It was a piss poor performance from Jalen Milroe. I think he's had been up and down all year. Bama didn't have a quarterback. Otherwise, they would have switched to him. It just is what it is. Like, at this point, they know they're going to have to hit the transfer portal hard. And I seen one tweet. It was like, Nick Saban didn't lose. He won at losing, so that he had 6 more days to get after it in the transfer portal.
Yeah, it was just a frustrating watch, especially because I bet the over on his passing yards. And I was just like, man, this is college football. It's going to open up at some point, and he's just going to get some deep passes, and just never came.
You kept saying that. You're like, it's college football. Eventually, one of the wide receivers is going to break through, and he's going to hit him in stride, and that's going to it's going to basically double his yards. And it just never happened.
No. And it felt like a struggle just for him to get off those 20 passes. Like, if you'd have told me he threw the ball 10 times in that game, I would have believed you. It was just so hard for that line to defend, to block. And shout out to Michigan's defense, because that D line was nasty. I think 5 sacks in the first half, each from different players. That secondary is amazing. Those corners, I mean, both first round picks to me.
Man, I think Harbaugh has done an excellent job coaching this team. They have not backed down from anyone. And so it wasn't surprising that this Nick Saban coached Bama team, like, they didn't intimidate them. But it was surprising that Bama it seemed intimidated by Michigan. And so now it's going to be a Big Ten title game.
Yeah, and the
new Big Ten.
The fact that they were not even that far ahead, and it felt like a shellacking, and they let those naysayers know, as some people would like to say, that Michigan was just dominating every facet and making a lot of mistakes too, and trying to
at the end of the
give
day,
the game to Bama, but Bama just can't capitalize because they don't have a quarterback.
Still took it to overtime. Even
Yeah.
though we're saying like it was so dominant, it was all this, Bama still took it to overtime, which is crazy to
It's
think
almost
about.
a New York Jets situation where like if you had a competent quarterback,
You would have won.
like you would have won easy.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah,
so what are your thoughts on JJ McCarthy? Some people are saying now this has risen his stock in the draft. I still don't think he's a great NFL prospect, if I'm going to be completely honest. What are your thoughts on him?
I definitely think his stock is rising, but if you watch that game, first half he looked really good. Second half, missing easy throws. He's all over the place, sporadic with his placement. Um, I think he just has that leadership quality, and he's gonna be a great backup quarterback for 10 years. Like he's one of those guys. But who knows who's to say he gets in there and he does become more accurate. Um, I know he can throw it deep, he can throw it short, but it's just like, dude, we're missing slant plays, we're missing dump offs. Like it didn't look good in the second half. As much
Yeah.
as it looked like it felt like a dominant performance. Their offense just sputtered out in the second half. Nothing, they didn't do anything, and then
Yeah.
they were making mistakes. You gotta. What was the game where they have a someone kick returning with a broken arm?
That was the Texas game.
That was Texas.
Yeah.
Okay,
Texas
yeah,
had their returner with a cast on his hand. Not even just his arm. It was his
it was a
whole hand.
full.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think JJ McCarthy, unless he looks amazing in this championship game, I don't think he's like a first or second round pick. Third round pick, I think, is where he lies. And he's gonna be a really good locker room guy, leader type guy in that locker room for a team.
I think also he's going to get the Harbaugh bump. Like people are going to trust what Jim Harbaugh has to say. And if he's saying, hey, JJ McCarthy is a guy, people are going to listen. Or maybe if Harbaugh
Harbaugh
moves
drafts
over to a
him.
team, yeah,
Harbaugh to the
Harbaugh moves.
Raiders. McCarthy to the Raiders. You got Devonte Adams.
Yeah, if
I
he's
do
like,
think
hey,
I do
trust
think
me.
McCarthy's the guy. If you put talent around him, he'll look decent. He'll look like a NFL quarterback.
I just think he's flawed. I just think he's not as accurate as you need to be. And if you're not accurate in college, what makes you think you're going to be accurate in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, and he didn't do anything in that game that was like, oh my god, like, did you see that throw? It was amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, the first touch on Blake Corum, it was wide fucking open. So I don't know. I think Blake Corum rose his draft stock, honestly.
I mean, he looked good, dude. Looked pretty. You're looking at it and you're like, I could see it. I could see it.
Him and like any Bama running back, they were going crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, Milrow included in the run game, one of Bama's best running backs. But I mean, you watched more of the Texas Washington game. I kind of tuned out because I was like, Michael Penix is the guy.
He
What was
is
your
the
overall
guy.
take? What was your take?
That was one of my takes is like, there was no reason. Like, it was a weird end of the game. There was no reason for Texas to be in it. They were down by 10. Um, then Texas drives it down. They kick a field goal. They kick it back to Washington. Washington gets it, is going to run it out. Uh, Texas didn't have any more timeouts left on third down. And Washington's running back got hurt. So that stopped the clock with like 50 seconds left. So Washington punts it. Once they punt it, they actually interfered with the returner. An extra 15 yards added. Quinn Ewers works his way down the field. They get it all the way to like, I believe, the 10, and they just can't put it in the end zone. Washington wins. So it ended up being whoa, this was way closer than it had to be, but it seemed like Washington had it wrapped up even 10 minutes before the end of game. Just a crazy, sequence of events had it to where Quinn Ewers had a chance to win it. At one point during the game, Arch Manning was actually warming up because Quinn Ewers slammed his head into the field. And so and everyone was like, oh shit, is Arch going to come out here and win this game? Didn't end up happening, but would have been a cool story. The story of it is Michael Penix, though, and these Washington receivers. I think both of them are NFL guys. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
they looked awesome, but Michael Penix is a dog. He gets after it. I think his draft stock has to be soaring after this.
And you know what? I think Washington is going to win the title. I mean, just moving forward
I
onto
think so.
that matchup, Michigan Wash. The way Michigan played, their defense looked good. Their offense had its moments, but I just don't think that Michigan could slow down this offense of Washington and keep up with their offense. I think
Yeah,
Washington is going to run away with it. Which
I
good
I
for the former Pac-12.
I think that it's going to be a closer matchup than you think, just because, yeah, like their offense is explosive. Michael Penix threw for 430, but where Michigan is very strong is in their DBs. So it's going to be a really, really good matchup on that front. I think eventually, yeah, they are going to pick up some big plays, but it's going to be tough trucking, especially if their running back is going to be hurt for this championship game. I think it's going to be closer than you think.
Where do you think this put Penix, his draft status? Secured number one pick. Not number one, first round
Oh, shit.
pick.
Oh,
Secured
yeah,
first
he's
round
for
pick.
sure a
Top
first
15,
rounder.
top 10.
I would say 15.
I think top
I would say
15 for sure.
market top 15. Um, I mean, he just looks awesome. I was telling you even prior to this game, I could see someone talking themselves out of Michael Penix very, very easily just because two knee tears. He's a little bit older. You're like, okay, can we really risk it? But I think someone's going to look at this guy and be like, he has all the tools. He can make all of these throws. And he is a very, like, nothing but A pluses as far as like the teammate category. I think you talk yourself into it as well. I
I
think
mean,
someone is going to move up the board
he
and get him.
led the nation in passing 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
So,
And his receiver did not win the Bolitnikoff, and he was disappointed about that. But he said that he was more disappointed that Michael Penix didn't win the Heisman. That's how big of a team. Like, everyone loves Michael Penix at Washington.
I think when I look at him play and just look at how he is, I just see minimum a solid starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, I think his floor is like a 7-win quarterback in the NFL.
I think that, again, it's really the thing that lingers over him is the injury history. And so you are handing him the keys to a $1 billion franchise. You want him to be available, and you know it just takes one shot on either of those knees because he tore both knees. So it's like, can we risk it? Like, I think you should, but I know some people will shy away from it just because of that.
Well, I mean, if there's like 20 plus teams right now in the league looking for their guy, I'd risk it. I'd risk it on him. He looks great. It's gonna be exciting national championship game for sure. I think this was the matchup that I wanted to see though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I'm kind of burnt out on Bama. I wanted to see Harbaugh get in a title game and see what he can do. Texas, I know there's a lot of Longhorn fans. They just don't have the star appeal for me for like, yeah, it's Texas, but
They haven't been good forever.
they haven't been good forever. Yeah, it's just like, and we'll see if they keep it up. Washington for me, I think has been around for a little while now, and they just reached that top of the iceberg now, and let's see what they can do. And West Coast, I like the school. I'm pulling for Washington.
I also have Washington in it. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. But I don't know if we get a Michigan national championship.
Harbaugh's gone. I think Harbaugh's gone.
That's for
either way.
sure. Harbaugh's gone, right?
Either way, he's done. I think he's gone because now if you like, there's gonna be sanctions, maybe more suspension. Like, what is gonna happen at Michigan if Harbaugh stays and doesn't hinder him in recruiting or keeping this level to go to the national title over and over? Wouldn't it be easier for him to just go to the NFL now and kind of like wipe his hands clean?
I don't know, but you have dominance over Ryan Day. And when you have dominance over Ohio State as Michigan, I think you could put your hat, especially because the playoff is expanding. You're going to be in the playoff if you just all you have to do is just keep beating Ohio State and be a good team. And I think Michigan can do that.
They didn't lose a game without Harbaugh.
Yeah. So
do they need him? I don't know.
I think they're going to need him. I mean, he's what you're going to Michigan for. He has the NFL ties. He can motivate the team. He has the football knowledge to get you there. That's why you're going. But I mean, it is good that they did win all their games without Harbaugh.
All right, well, we're gonna move into some NBA talk right now because there was a developing story, really huge NBA story, and I need to share the screen really quick to talk about this. So, you don't know we're doing this. This is kind of a surprise. We are gonna create our own tiers list,
Oh shit.
and let me get this out of here really quick. How's it looking on your end?
I'm seeing the screen
All right,
with everything.
so Zion Williamson got a tattoo. Biggest story in the NBA right now. He got a tattoo, and people are not liking it. They ain't feeling it. What are your thoughts on this tattoo right here? We're gonna blind rank these. So I got a couple for you. It's off center. I can't tell if that's a
It's a
tiger or gorilla
gorilla, I believe.
with thunder on top in the bushes, and it's a cross. So, what are your thoughts immediately? Where do you rank this?
I do not like the tattoo placement. I think whatever artist that did this should be burned at the stake immediately. There's no reason for it to be that off center. It looks so wonky. Blind ranking it though, like
Yeah.
as far as internet memeability, it's an S tier.
Uh-huh.
But as far as like tattoo, like if this is Ink Master and I'm like rating this, I would give it a C. Like it's a good tattoo, just the placement is off for me. I would give it a C.
I'll give it a C also, but I think you're giving it far too much credit as a good tattoo. Like the
I mean,
quality
if you
of
look at it, blow it up again. If you look at it, it's a well done tat. I mean, it
is it?
looks good.
I mean,
I don't like the leaves. If I'm gonna be honest, all right,
the
I don't like
leaves,
the leaves.
the
I don't
left,
like
the left leave's a little thinner than the right leaf is a little thick, and it's blurry.
that. That's also probably
The
the
face
first.
blends in to where you can't really tell. It's just teeth and eyes. Like I thought it was a lion. It could be a bear.
I thought it was a gorilla, but I could be off now. Now that you're saying it,
You know,
but I think
we'll
it's
put it
cool.
at
It's
C.
just random beast, and it's cool.
I think what's gonna get him more clown on is the placement.
Yeah,
It's
for
it
sure.
If you're gonna go off center, I think it needs to go more to the side. Like right here, I think it works like on the shoulder ish. But
All right, hold on. Before we get any further, I don't know any of the tattoos coming up. Is one of them the Monte Ellis ugly family tree?
I didn't find that. These just kind of came up.
Okay.
But please, if you guys know more ugly tattoos from NFL or NBA players, go ahead and let us know. We'll probably do a part 2 of this. All right. So I only put Jason Tatum because I was like on Reddit looking for like what do people think, and unanimously people were saying Jason Tatum has the corniest tattoos. This is probably the most tame. But what do you think? God's will on the back. He has a street. I mean,
I
it's kind of big statement piece.
It is a big statement piece. It's well done though, at least. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm okay with this. I'll give it a B. Like I don't
Okay.
think there's anything wrong with it. It's just like it's not my cup of tea. But
Yeah.
it's a well done tat. I mean, you could tell he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
What,
I
what
think
does that tattoo?
it's a bit much for my taste.
What does that tattoo mean? It means I have money.
All right, then we got Darren Williams here.
Oh no.
A little throwback NBA here. D Will, Texas made, got the Flames coming into it. Yeah. What are you thinking about? Really cursive, really weird lettering. The basketball is also off. Do you see
It is
the
off.
lines don't connect?
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be
This
the one
is
thing.
classic. Like he got these pre NBA and just has to rock them. This is the worst one of the bunch so far.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get worse. This is the worst of the bunch so far. I'm gonna put it for now in the D category,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, this is the worst done. This is not good.
All right. Make sure you guys are playing along in the comments because all right. All right. This one's number 98 on the knee. I just didn't like this. It stretches out. There's a star under it. I think terrible placement.
Who is that?
Oh, well, that's Jason Tatum. All right, number two,
Dude, he
our
does
second,
have some corny ass tattoos.
our second Jason Tatum tattoo on the list. What do you think about that? It just like it stretches so much on the knee.
I just, yeah, it's not, again, not good placement. Like, who is
Who's
consulting?
placing these NBA
Yeah,
player tattoos?
who's consulting them?
This looks like you spent VC and like you just moved it around with your controller and we're like, yeah, it goes there, whatever.
That looks fine. And then you play with it and it looks all weird.
Yeah, this is a
I'm gonna
2K
put that.
tattoo.
That's the, honestly, the D Will one I can even understand because it's like, well, I'm 18 years old. I want a fucking tattoo. What do I love? I love Texas and basketball and
And Panthers.
flames.
Did you see the Panther on the other
Yeah,
arm?
I did see that.
You're putting this in D?
But that one, yeah, you had money at this point,
You'd think such a simple tattoo wouldn't be hard. Because
but
it's
it
like, you
is.
know what? I'm born in 98. Let me put a 98 on me. And they're like, say less. Don't you tell us anything more. I got a guy in the back. It's his first day. All right. What do you think about this one? I just don't quit. And there's some racing flags.
Hustle man. Is that what
Yeah, I
that
didn't
says?
know. I don't know what that means.
Maybe it's someone he knows.
I just
I feel
think
like, is that like LaMelo? Who's that?
that's Jason Tatum. That's our third Jason Tatum tattoo of the bunch.
Put him at, get him D tier. Get him the fuck out of here.
I just think the
God.
font is like so generic and the way it's made. Yeah, I don't like that tattoo at all.
God, Jason Tatum, what are you doing, bro?
He's rich.
But
All
I
right,
mean, you figure he could get better tattoos. Oh
this
no.
one, Gilbert Arenas.
Oh
What are
no.
we thinking here? The bottom looks pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell if that's like scar or acne or if that's the tattoo down there.
But also the little bobblehead is freaking me out too.
Yeah, is that a? He has like a
It's a
giant
cheetah, I think, right? Or
cheetah face on his stomach.
LA on his chest,
Yeah,
and then it's shiny. I think this is
S tier.
all right. I'm gonna have to move D Will up to a C.
No, you can't move. You
You
can't
can't
move.
move because it's better than
Do
that.
you, do you are we gonna move just Gilbert Arenas down off the board right now?
It's pretty bad.
You got to go down here.
That one's the worst one. Out of all of them, the Jason Tatum ones are corny, but they're not horrible. The
Okay,
D Will one I feel a lot better about now.
this one.
Vince Young. He got his own. Oh my god! I knew a guy once who was gonna get his own name tatted on him, and we're like, "Why would you get your name?"
Like first name.
Yeah, his first name. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
I will say Jason Tatum has his own like body on him. He has himself.
He has a body tattoo of his body on his body.
It's like it's him holding his son, but yeah, Jason Tatum
Oh, okay.
has
I mean,
it,
that's a good one.
but it's himself too. So I don't know. But what do you think about V Young here? If just in case anyone saw him on the streets shirtless and was wondering, is that Vince Young?
Is that Vince Young? Yeah, that's Vince. All right. I'm gonna actually I love the cockiness of it. So I'm gonna give that an A
All right,
just
all
for
right.
cockiness. Just for like, hey, you know what? I'm Vince Young, baby.
I mean, I don't hate the font of it,
I don't.
but I'd wish the V wasn't there. Just Young. Do you think he went tattoos with his teammates in college, and they were like two Youngs, and they were like, "Well, I'm V Young,
I'm
so."
V Young. So yeah,
All right,
obviously.
let's
Young's
see
pretty
here.
common. They didn't want him to
Um,
think like it was Steve Young.
True. This one says life.
Is that Hitch? Is that who that is? The second one? Is
I
that
think
Hitch when he
that's
has the
I think that's Hitch. Oh, is that from White Man Can't Jump? Is that Wesley? And then
is that Denzel
Denzel?
Washington at
I
the
think it's
top
Denzel at the top.
from John Q?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I respect it, I guess. Like, is this his
It's like
favorite movie?
it's hard to tell of like who these people are other than Dash.
I don't even think that's Wesley Snipes.
See, that's what I'm saying. I thought maybe it's Spike Lee.
All right, I'm just gonna give this a C. Let's give it a C. I don't
I will say this is Jason Tatum as well.
know.
It's Jason Tatum.
Oh my god, he has the worst fucking tattoos ever. Is that
This
also
is
Jason Tatum?
no, this is
Okay.
the guy that got cut from the Raiders, Lynn Bowden. He's on the Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
He got the worst Miami Dolphins tattoo, supposedly.
Oh, that I thought it was like a like the 49ers. I thought it was a pick. That is a bad
That's a
dolphin.
dolphin.
That's one of his friends did that because
Yeah.
that is bad.
I think he did it himself, maybe.
uh
I will say this is this tattoo, and then there's one more. So I mean, we haven't hit S.
uh that's bad. That's really bad. I want to give it a D, but I mean, if he did it himself, it's kind of no. Even though that's not even impressive.
As
No,
someone,
give
you're
him-
someone who gave themselves a tattoo as well.
yeah. So give him a D. No, we're not. We're not doing that. It's so bad, dude.
All right, here's the last tattoo of the bunch. So this player, they're from St. Louis.
It's Jason Tatum.
How'd you know?
Because the only reason I know is because of Ruffles. He
So-
had those. Nobody does heat like St. Louis.
So Jason Tatum, in honor, I cannot find. I tried to research this. Why he has a bomb as an honor to St. Louis tattoo, but it's St. Louis till the world blows, and this tattoo makes you think that he's like celebrating blowing up St. Louis, or it's like a 9/11
put
situation.
it on the map. Like, is that what he's doing?
I don't know. It's St. Louis till the world blows. But it's in honor of St. Louis, or is he like it's like was there a bombing in St. Louis that he's like in remembrance of?
Maybe we're not up on our St. Louis historical knowledge.
But all I can read up on it was in honor of St. Louis, this tattoo. But
Well, I can see from the St. Louis.
to me, it makes it seem like he wants to bomb St. Louis.
What is wrong with him? I mean, it's better than the two at the bottom. I'll give it a C.
All right.
These are bad. These are all bad.
That was all my tattoos. So I guess Vince Young wins.
Vince Young does win. I like the cockiness, you know?
Here, let me get a quick screenshot of this. All right, perfect. That'll go up on our Instagram. All right. Well, that was, let us know what tattoos we missed. And I think we can all learn from here. Zion Williamson has a bad tattoo, yes, but it's just one.
It could be way worse.
You could be Jason Tatum.
Yeah. Wow,
right.
what a ride.
Well, last thing I kind of want to touch on today was
Don't even. All right, yeah, let's do it.
Last thing I want to touch on today was the Washington Wizards owner. What was reported that they're moving them he's getting ready to move them to Virginia. I guess the mayor, what was it? Someone in Virginia said that the city's not gonna put any money. Also Bradley Beal said not to move them. It would be like moving the Commanders to Maryland. Let's see.
Okay.
Neither Alexandria nor Virginia State taxpayers will be paying for a possible new Wizards or Capitals arena. He'd be taking the Capitals as well.
Oh shit. Oh, that sucks for DC.
What do you think?
It sucks, but I mean, I understand. And you do this dance with like smaller tier. We just seen it with Oakland, where team goes up to city. Hey, we need money to build a stadium so we can keep our $1 billion business in your city. City says no. Team goes to other city and says, we want to build a stadium here. Will you give us money? Other city says, yes, we will. Team goes back to first city and says, hey, we have this bid over here. If you pay us more, we will stay here.
Keep going.
Yeah, so it's just stacking on each other. And yeah, I mean, it sucks for DC. I think it's sad to see them go, as long as they don't lose the Commanders, though, you know?
I mean, yeah, well, we'll see about that. I think a lot of people were like, no, let's keep them in DC. Let's rebuild. a tweet I really liked from Meyer Lansky said, "The Wizards are 5-25. Virginia can have they sorry ass." So, I mean, if you're only winning 5 games, not much hype to rebuild the stadium, rebuild the arena.
I get that, but the Wizards have also been around for a very, very long time. So it's like not just about the players being ass. It's about, you know what I mean? Like the community, a bunch of people that have jobs in the arenas, things like that. So you have to take all that shit into consideration. It is a billion-dollar business at the end of the day that is centered right in downtown DC. So you would love to see not only them, but the Capitals stay in Washington, DC. And it does suck that, like, at the end of the day, this is a business. So you got to do what's best for the business, even if it is uprooting it.
You're gonna have some trouble getting free agents to Virginia.
You got trouble getting players now. What
I
are you
mean,
doing?
I know someone from Virginia, and they tell me, oh yeah, I like it there because it's not far from DC. I can go to DC, but they don't say anything about Virginia itself. So I don't know.
That's your selling point to the players. Hey, we're not far from DC.
I mean, think about it. Santa Clara and the 49ers, like, it's nowhere close to San Francisco. They're still the
Yeah,
San Francisco 49ers.
it's just so like it gets ugly when you start to think about the business side of these like sporting teams. The owners are truly fucking greedy. Like when you get down to it, it is like all about the dollars and cents. They get fucking ugly when it comes to it. When they know like these are thousands of jobs. These are people that really, really care about it, are from the area, that love to show pride, but they're like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make more money over here, or someone else is gonna pay for their stadium. I'm gonna go over there. It just sucks, dude.
Yeah. Well, you guys let us know in the comments. What do you think about the Virginia Wizards? Sound a little sus to me, but we'll see. We'll see what the naysayers say about that.
Yep.
I want to wrap up here with Deep Dig Disco. Disco, short for Discovery. Every week we talk about something we found that is not sports related. Could be a show, could be a movie, could be anything.
Yes, we are sports guys through and through, but obviously we cannot do this shit 24/7. I have a wife now. She makes me watch other things. So this past week, so my disco this past week, we went out, we did a little date night, we went to the movies, we watched a little heartwarming film called The Iron Claw. Honestly, it was not heartwarming at all. It was a very, very tragic tale. It follows the Von Erich family. If you're familiar with professional wrestling, you would know this family. So it follows them. They are 4 brothers their dad was in the wrestling business. They get into the wrestling business. The main brother is Kevin, who is played by Zac Efron. The story really follows him as he battles through these series of events and tries to understand if he wants to give his life completely to wrestling or completely to carving his own path and becoming a family man. Honestly, very great performances from Zac Efron, from Jeremy Allen White. All the brothers in this were actually really, honestly, it was a great cast. It was a really good performances. I think Zac Efron should get Oscar buzz as we head into nominations, I think at the end of this month. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. And I think it's a movie for everybody. I think if you're a fan of professional wrestling, you'll appreciate it. If you have brothers, you'll appreciate it. If you have a father in your life, you'll appreciate it. So I think it's a movie where you can kind of see a lot of yourself in it. And it was really good. It is sad though. Go ahead and check it out at your local theater.
Yeah, mine is it's not necessarily new, but I'm home for the holidays. I have like another month here. So was looking for something to watch. I got my mom, my younger sister, to restart watching with me Game of Thrones. I'm someone who was like for years, oh no, I'm not gonna watch Game of Thrones. I'm not into that kind of stuff. Like medieval times. There's like a lot of weird sexual stuff. Like I'm good. And then I sat down and started to watch it and I binged it for like 2 weeks and finished it all. And it's a great fucking show other than the last season, but Who cares? Um, yeah, so I'm doing a rewatch. Got that. They're watching it for their first time. I will say, even if you're not in the medieval stuff, there's a lot of drama. Basically, everyone gunning for the throne from day one. A lot of characters to follow, but that's what's kind of good about the show because it makes you like multiple people. And then you got to decide, who am I rooting for? That's like mostly what I like about it, how everyone could kind of be the main character at any point. And a lot of backstabbing going on, a lot of crazy drama, a lot of twists and turns. And then, once you get into it a little bit, there's some cool fights. So, I mean, one of the best shows of all time, other than the last season. And we could talk about that further off of this, but go and watch Game of Thrones. It's a good binge.
Yeah, and I think they have a lot more spinoffs coming. I know
Yeah.
they did House of Dragons, which is actually getting a second season, but I think they have like two more shows coming out.
They're doing a Jon Snow spinoff.
Yeah, and then another one based off of some lore pre Game of Thrones. So, uh, I mean, if you liked it, check it out, finish it out, and then you could start some of these spinoffs.
Yeah, a lot of good family dynamics, politics, all that good stuff, and dragons. So,
Dragons.
all right, thanks guys. Happy New
All
Year.
right. Later. Oh, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, drop some comments below. Later.
Cool.